appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us really quickly here today. Um, Thank you for your time, and I'm pretty sure you're really busy with the holidays and everything like that, but I guess we'll kind of just dive right into it. I have a couple of questions here, so if you see me look off the screen, that's what I'm looking at. So
good.
The first question that I had for you was, I had a chance to look over your, birth story, kind of so to speak, for your business, just kind of perusing your website, and see that you started with yourself and your mother, Elizabeth, in 2015. So I was just wondering if you could explain, how that came to be for you all to embark on this kind of journey, and why candle making, and maybe particularly if you had like a background in cosmetics perhaps or something, or fragrance, was basically just what led you here to, where you are.
Of course. So I don't have a background in fragrance or cosmetics, even though I've designed for a number of fragrance brands. But my background is actually retail strategy and design. So before scripted fragrance, and for about 5 years overlapping, I was doing that in New York City, as well as pursuing this business with my mom. Scripted fragrance is all my mom's idea. What happened was we have 2 miniature dachshunds. We love animals. And my mom was shopping in Home Goods one day. And she's in the candle aisle and she's looking for like dachshund stuff. And she thought, if there was a dachshund candle, I'd buy one. So she comes home, sits down on her computer, does a little clip art with a little description, and sends me an email in July 2015 that says, "This is my idea. What do you think about it?" So a little context of the relationship between my mother and I. We're very close, and she has a very strong entrepreneurial spirit, and she has countless ideas. So I told her infamously, I'll think about it, with like a laughing, crying face. Well, fast forward, my mom did some research and bought like a starter candle kit that fall, and we learned how to make candles. And we went through hundreds of candles, probably close to 1,000, honestly, in order to get the right wax we wanted to work with, vessels, wick size, everything else with that. And then in holiday 2016 is actually when we launched our very first candle.
Oh, wow. Nice. Cool journey. Nice. Well, it was great to hear that.
Yep. So we, when we launched in 2016, we only had a few SKUs. We had our dog collection, our pet collection, which today boasts 35 unique dog breeds, including rescue dog and cat, as well as some of the most popular states. That's sort of where we started in 2016. And today we've grown iteratively to 6 candle collections and over 125 different unique candles.
Nice. Very cool. And that kind of like you led me to the second question I was going to ask, like, what's the meaning behind the selection of dog breeds and everything like that? And why that's a big focus for you all. So that was really cool to hear that. But what's the meaning behind the name itself, the scripted fragrance, and how you all decided to go about naming your business that specifically?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So it's all about telling stories for us. And that is really what scripted fragrance is founded all about. That's all of our candle collections are designed with that spirit in mind. And we're really inspired in telling the stories of what we love most and celebrating that, and having folks bring our fragrances and our candles into their home. So the pet collection is where we began, alongside our state collection, which expanded into the cities that we love. And also when we thought about birthdays and how meaningful they are, we expanded into our birth flower collection.
Okay.
We also really much believe in meditation and mindfulness. So that branched into our wellness and meditation collection as well. And we've grown from there.
Nice. Okay. Well, I guess I'll jump into the next one question that I have here. And that would be, we see that you just recently appeared on the local CBS Sunday morning news station in New York earlier this month, or last month now at this point. And I just wanted to kind of see, you've also been highly featured in like other avenues like Oprah Magazine, House Beautiful, and et cetera. I guess what has been the most exciting aspect about those appearances and everything of that nature? And what are some insights that you've gained, if any, just kind of being on that side and like on the higher promotional side at this point in your career?
Yeah, 100%. Each opportunity provides itself a wonderful learning experience and an opportunity for us to grow. So most recently, as you mentioned, we were featured on CBS Sunday Morning, which is a long format news program that airs nationwide. And we were blown away by the response to the feature that we were included in. It featured, the whole story was around Etsy and the opportunities that Etsy is providing entrepreneurs, especially during a really challenging time this year. And we were one of 3 Etsy sellers featured, and CBS Sunday Morning came this fall to our studio and interviewed my mom and I, and it was hours and hours and hours of footage and interview that culminated into a really beautiful 8-minute story. And we're extremely proud of it and extremely grateful to be alongside such a talented group.
Sure thing. Okay. And then I guess from that also as well, is there any moment like before all of this kind of success boom for you all and you're getting, you know, kind of accolades or attention, but prior to that, like when you were first starting out, I know you mentioned your mom just like kind of testing out the whole wax production process and seeing like what consistency was best for you. Was there ever like a moment, you know, at that point in time where you might have like questioned if this was going to work, or, you know, how did you like kind of manage if you know, kind of met any roadblocks, so to speak, if any?
100%. We have roadblocks every single day. It's just whether or not you seize the opportunity and the challenge to come up with what I like to say is the second right answer, and you push through. I am a firm believer that if it is happening to you, it is supposed to be happening to you, and how much it's directly affecting you is in relationship to how much you should be learning from the opportunity. So for something like what we just experienced for CBS Sunday Morning, it was beyond our wildest imagination. We have been fulfilling thousands and thousands of orders out of our home studio and hand pouring every single candle. We still do it in that way to be handmade. We don't have a stock of thousands of candles sitting on a shelf.
Right.
It has been a nonstop marathon the past month. In fact, I look up, honestly, I'm like, it's February. Wait, I see Valentine's Day.
Isn't it just like
what just happened? But I can tell you that it's been a boot camp for us. And each new opportunity allows us the understanding and the framework to understand what it would mean to be able to scale our business in a meaningful way and provide jobs and opportunity for other people as well. So it is just learning day by day. And I can tell you that all of the opportunities that we have been fortunate to be the receiving end on, there are literally thousands more that we were not. We actively pursue and pitch media constantly in order for inclusion, because one of the most challenging things as a small business is awareness. If you can get people to look at you, then you can make an impact and inspire them with your product. But if no one's looking, then
knows about it. Right, exactly.
No one's there. So we are very fortunate to have some real great highlights, but they are consistently balanced and humbled each day by the ones that know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was meant for you, it was meant for you. You know, like you said, everything is for a reason. So I definitely wholeheartedly agree with that. And I like what you mentioned about that, you know, kind of giving that tip there. I was going to close out, you know, our conversation with that. So that's a great starter tip and for people to really pay attention to. And so I guess from that point, if we move on, what do you see for the future, you know, for scripted fragrance? Are there any new like exciting developments that you have coming up and, you know, your journey that you can share, or if you want to keep it, you know, kind of on the low, so to speak, and let, you know, your customers be surprised about it, that's totally fine too, but just trying to see.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we have some really exciting things planned for our customers throughout, you know, over the past 5 years and beyond. We've heard a lot of really interesting feedback and things that people want to see. You know, while I can't do specifics, what I can say is that big opportunities like this allows us to leverage the next big opportunity. And we're really excited to be able to really double down on gifting this year and really provide to be a trusted gifted resource. One of the things that we're really proud of is when people visit Scripted Fragrance, either in person when you can or online, one of the things that really attracts people to our products is our stories and our packaging.
Okay.
But what is tremendous to see is our repeat customer rate is through the roof. And what we hear is that we bought it because my French Bulldog is on it and I'm so excited. When I burned it at home, your candle's amazing. It's 100% natural soy. It has great fragrance throw, and we want more of that. So we're really looking to answer their requests as well in 2021.
Sweet, sweet. And I like how you mentioned about, the people and their feedback. And I guess my follow-up question to that is kind of like two-parted. One, how do you scope out knowing what your customers would like to see in the future and getting that kind of information? And then two, you mentioned like, some people really being like, I guess, emotionally connected to having their dog be like a star, so to speak, on the candle. And I noticed that on your website, you have like distinct scents for some of the breeds. And
yes, each one has their own.
About that.
Yeah, 100%. So what makes our candles unique is that each one of our collections and each candle has a different fragrance. So the Beagle candle smells nothing like the miniature Schnauzer candle. It's all designed to capture their breed personality and breed standard as put forth by the American Kennel Club, who actually also carries our candles as well.
Nice.
So for example, the German Shepherd, who loves outdoors and adventure, has a much more woodsy, earthy tone to it. Whereas the Beagle is often, very much comedy, very loud howl and bark, and that's actually one of our strongest fragrances in order to balance out that. Our Chihuahua is a little mango and papaya because he originates from Mexico. So we really try to bring out that. It is not a direct interpretation of what the dog smells like. It's definitely inspired and supposed to be, a lot of fun for folks to enjoy.
Cool. Okay, well then, I guess to kind of close it out here, you started with one tip in terms of people being willing to pitch their business and their story and not being afraid, because they can't see you if you don't see them, or reach out to them, they can't see you, So I guess another question would be, to close everything out, what are some other insider tips you would, give to people, candle makers, or anyone really, any kind of entrepreneur? It doesn't even have to be like within glassware. What are some tips you would, use or provide to them to encourage them to keep going, to create their successful business? And I think particularly right now, I think it's really relevant in terms of, all the different circumstances we've been going through as a nation this past, year or so. So if you could kind of share that, that would be really great.
100%. So my advice personally would be to trust your gut and your instinct. I think really what makes the world beautiful is everybody's uniqueness and diversity. And if you can hearken on your own experiences and tell stories, tell your own stories through your product, that's what makes you unique. Being original is about having self-confidence to put that forth in your product. And I see, candles are a tremendously crowded space. What is beautiful about candles is that it's very democratic in that the barrier to entry is very low. We started our business with a couple $100 and was just messing around in our kitchen. Not really that far removed from that right now, to be totally honest with you, but it's a beautiful thing. If you can figure out what makes your candles unique and stand out on their own, that's very important. You have to trust your own voice, because it's those things that give you that uniqueness that allow you to cut through. We're very diligent and very purposeful about our business. When we talk to other candle makers, for example, they hear we have 125 fragrances and their first thing is like, oh my gosh, no, you can't do that. Like, it's too much to manage. And I'm like, that's part of what makes us different. So you have to embrace that and, really challenge yourself from a design perspective as well, to be original and to break through. So that's something that we're really, really passionate about.
The way I take that away is like, defy the limitations, whether that's like what's posed by people outside of yourself or even within yourself. And I love that. I love how you mentioned like it's so oversaturated with candle making. And we've even found that on our side, some of our people, our customers might voice, I felt like I couldn't really stand out, within that. So I really just love those words of encouragement. That's really awesome. So I thank you. I thank you so much for your time and, you know, outside of your busy schedule. And I just encourage you all to keep creating and doing awesome work. And yeah, that's really all I have.
I really appreciate your time.